to feel like I actually wanted to go to college, rather than just feeling like it was an obligation. Academics, killed it. Social life, hey guys, it's me Alison, and today we are going to be reviewing my entire college freshman year experience, and I'm going to give you guys my tips and tricks based on how my year went. As always, the timestamps are in the description, and you can use the chapters feature to skip to any specific section. Starting off with what I accomplished this year. I feel like I often sell myself short. I forget all the things that I accomplished, so I decided to make a list. Oh yeah, by the way, I wrote everything on my phone, so sorry if I'm looking at it. I finished the year with a 4.0 GPA, which was really exciting for me and really important because I'm trying to add a major. I was accepted into the digital filmmaking minor as a freshman. I won ASUCI Content Creation Intern of the Quarter, my winter quarter, because I made an introduction video for MXMtoon, highlight of my life. Her team said that they were really impressed with it. I joined the Education Honor Society at my school, which is called Kappa Delta Pi. It's not a sorority, it sounds like one. I started a podcast. I reached 2,000 subscribers, so also if you're a new subscriber, hi, welcome. I was in an online production of Disenchanted with my singing teacher. I continued pursuing my performing arts passions. I started taking acting classes. I worked a part-time job the entire school year, and by part-time I mean I was there Monday through Friday watching all these little kids, and it was hard work. It felt a lot like being a first-year teacher because now, like I finished my first year, my classroom management skills are so much better. Oh my god. And also I killed it with time management. And finally I got a summer internship, which really surprised me, and I am really grateful, and it's been super cool so far. Alright, so now let's rewind to where I started this year at. Some background about me, guys. If we rewind all the way to my senior year, I was very set on a gap year. Lately, I've been pondering the idea of a gap year. I really want to do it. Maybe I'll go to like community or take a gap year or something. I wanted to stay in my current job for another year, which is what I actually got to do, so that worked out. But I also wanted to travel, and I wanted to relax because I was super burned out, and I wanted to just have life experiences because I wanted a more clear idea of what I wanted to do in my life. I do have a very clear idea. I wanted to see if there were other options that maybe I liked and just didn't know about. And what happened was I was on the UCI wait list, which surprised me. But anyway, I was on the UCI wait list, so I accepted an offer to another school, and this was a school that allowed you to defer enrollment for a year, because if you didn't know, public schools generally don't let you do this, but private schools do. So my plan at that point was I was committed to that school, I deferred my enrollment for a year, and I was going to reapply to some colleges because I changed my mind about my major already. So I was originally a film major. I decided I wanted to change to be an education major, and I could do like film minors and stuff. So I was planning on reapplying to schools during my gap year and changing that, because that would make it a lot easier for me to get into schools, because film majors, that's like one of the hardest majors to get into at any school. I switched to being an education major at UCI after they accepted me. I had my plan, and then UCI let me off the wait list. First off, let me just tell you guys, they didn't notify me that anything changed. I got an email about UCI housing and I was like, my guy, I was not accepted into your school. But anyway, they accepted me off the wait list like a week before I had to make my decision. And I am not good at making decisions. So that was a hard week for me. I cried. I loved UCI. When I visited, I was like, this just feels like home. I love it. But I was so excited for my gap year. I could not handle going to school that fall. I was completely stuck 50-50, yes, no. But eventually we decided to accept UCI's offer, and then we'd see in the fall how I was feeling about it. When I went into the school year, my actual plan was get through the first quarter, and then after that, I could withdraw if I still felt burned out. Because once you're in, you can withdraw and like come back, and as long as you're in good standing, you'll probably get back in. But I had to do at least a quarter before I could do that. As you guys can see, I ended up doing all 3 quarters, and I'm even doing summer classes right now. COVID ended up giving me the like happy medium between gap year and fully moving to college, because I got to stay at home, I got to keep my job. It eased me into college in a way that just going off to college wouldn't have done. I was right in thinking that I needed a year to get excited, to feel like I actually wanted to go to college, rather than just feeling like it was an obligation. Let's talk about my biggest tips and takeaways so far in college. I am sure that these will change as I go through the years, but here's where I'm at now. I'll probably do one of these videos every year to recap. So one of my biggest academic tips, something that really helped me in 2 of my classes, is mind mapping. I learned it from a TED Talk. Oh my god, this really, really helped me, because I struggle with condensing my notes. I basically rewrite the entire textbook. That makes it hard to pick out the important information. So what I do is I go back in around midterm, final times, whenever, and I mind map my notes. This is a good example. This is from my European Studies course. Basically, you write like a few little notes here and there. You can see how different concepts are connected to each other. You pick out the most important parts of what you've learned. So that definitely helped me for econ, where is that at? Because there was a lot of stuff in econ. So like you can see, I wrote all about the egregious supply curve and the egregious demand curve, the important equation, highlight things that I definitely needed to remember. And this just really, really came in handy for me in condensing my notes and also getting a reminder of what I learned. I didn't use it for all of my classes. The thing is, you have to adapt your study techniques to the specific class. For instance, in Education 40, it was a lot of rote memorization. So what I did was, along the way, I made this self-quiz questions document. So as we learn different chapters, at that time, I would write questions for myself about the concepts. And that way, towards the end of the quarter, I did this in Digifilm too. Towards the end of the quarter, when we were preparing for the finals and stuff, I could go back in, answer my own questions, and that gave me a really helpful review of what I needed to know. What were the important things I learned that week? A big organization tip I have, learned it from TikTok. Make a Google spreadsheet or make a Microsoft sheet. In college, you get the syllabus. That'll pretty much tell you all the assignments you're gonna have throughout the quarter. It depends on your teacher, of course, but you know the general idea of your assignments. So what I would do is I would put in all of my assignments, I'd color code it for the different classes. I would organize it by due date, and what I would do for the due date is I would make my due date like a day or two earlier than the actual due date, because that meant I was finishing my work with like a 2-day sort of leeway period in case any problems arose, in case I needed extra time on anything. That was super helpful, and then I would just delete them as I went. Another thing I do, because I get super stressed and because there's a lot going on in college, is I had a document called Stuff to Do, and what I do on there is I list out everything that I just have to do for the upcoming week. So I would use that sort of in tandem with that assignment spreadsheet I made. Another way I stay organized, huge advocate for the Day Designer. This is my new Day Designer for July 2021 to June 2022. Day Designers are great. They are very pricey, but basically it's because they have an entire day per page. You can download a free trial version on their website. They come in handy so much for me. I love being able to write things down. That way I can move on with my day without worrying that I'm gonna forget to do something that I need to do later. My personal tip, do your work the weekend ahead. So I shifted my weeks to sort of go from Saturday to Thursday. I've tried to do as much of my homework as I could on Saturday and Sunday. So like say we're getting to week 1, I would do all the week 1 work as much as I can on the Saturday and Sunday before week 1. So that way I was sort of ahead of the game. That really helped out because again, if you ever run into an issue, like I got called in to like cover a coworker's shift and I couldn't do as much homework as I thought I would get to do that day, then I'm good because I gave myself that like 2-day sort of buffer window. I don't know what to call it. Try to find at least one study buddy for classes, always important. There are a lot of group chats, Discord, stuff like that that you can join, especially at UCI. If there's no group chat, you can make the group chat for the class or just find like one person, exchange phone numbers with them. Network, 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 guys. Build relationships with the people that you meet, especially people who have similar like career interests to yourself. Networking is important. Start sooner rather than later. Utilize your resources. Go to the networking events, go to the career fairs, your professor's office hours, go to the tutoring centers, counseling services, career center, etc. You're paying all this money for college, so you might as well use the free resources they give you. During my writing course, I used the UCI Writing Center. I went to office hours with my professors when I needed help. I honestly didn't go that much though. I didn't know what to say because like I didn't have questions that often. I gotta figure out how to go to office hours more. I utilized UCI counseling services. I went to that one career fair for a little bit and I went to their networking events. I would say make more time for social life and fun. This is a tip to myself because I didn't really do that this year, especially with, COVID. Definitely try to find more of a balance. Prioritize. A thing that I really need to learn. Pick the clubs, the organizations, the things that mean the most to you, that are the most important to you, and put effort into those. Like, it's not high school anymore. You can't spread yourself too thin. Participate in your classes. That's a great way to show your professors that you care about their class, about the content. I've been in the teacher's shoes and I love it when my kids participate. That's how you get in your teacher's good graces because it's awkward for them. If they ask a question, it's just like silent. Look for housing earlier rather than later. Start thinking about internships sooner rather than later. Most people aren't doing internships as freshmen. So if you start doing internships as freshmen, you're gonna stand out, my guy. It is hard, I will say, to find, because like they all say, for sophomores, juniors, seniors, or for upperclassmen only, stuff like that. You might as well apply. Like, I remember on TikTok, they were like, if you don't meet all the qualifications, requirements for the job, that's fine. Because like, if you met all of them, that means you're not moving up. you're like moving horizontally. I don't know if I worded that right. But yeah, definitely start thinking about internships earlier. I wish I had started applying earlier. I meant to. I was reading my day designer and I meant to start applying to internships a lot earlier than I actually did, but I still got one. So my biggest tips for that stuff, join all those like communities of people who are also looking for jobs like you. They can give you a lot of insight into job opportunities, internship opportunities, and tips and tricks on how to get those opportunities. Go to career webinars and events in your desired field sooner rather than later. This way you can start networking, you can get advice from people that are already professionals in the industry. Make a spreadsheet of where you've applied to when it comes to this stuff. I was applying to a lot of different positions and then you sort of start to lose track, so you want to make sure you keep it all organized. I would put it in another spreadsheet. If you have questions, ask. Whether this is at work, whether this is in class, whether it's at your internship, ask questions. Don't just like be sitting around going, I don't know. Academics! So if you guys don't know, UCI is the quarter system, so that means we have fall quarter, winter quarter, spring quarter, and then there's summer quarter if you want to take it. So fall quarter, I took 3 classes, so that's 12 units. I decided to start off a little bit chiller because it was my first quarter in college and I was very stressed because I didn't know what they expect from you. So I took Euro Studies 13, which was language in Europe. I took Education 50, which was about like issues in education, and I took Education 40, which was kind of like educational psychology. So that was a GE and 2 of my required education courses. Winter quarter, I took 4 classes. So I took Art 81A for my digital filmmaking minor. I took Writing 39B for the writing requirement. I took Econ 20A for econ/business requirements. And then I took Biomedical Engineering 3 for a GE, which was, it sounds hard, it wasn't hard. It was just a class about treating diabetes. Spring quarter, I took 4 classes. I took Econ 20B, again for econ/business requirements. I took Education 104D for an education elective. I took Education 30 and Education 140 for education requirements. And summer quarter, I am signed up for 3 courses, but they're split up over sessions, so I'm taking 1 right now and 2 at the second session. I was really scared about the academic rigor of college courses because you don't know really what they expect of you. This happened to me when I transitioned from middle school to high school too. I get scared because I don't know what their expectations are compared to like what I'm used to. It actually ended up going really well for me. I found that I definitely learn better when I teach myself, so I actually really enjoyed online courses. I thrived doing virtual learning. So fall quarter, I was like hardcore in academics mode. This definitely declined as the year went on, but fall quarter, I was making self-study guides, I was making self-quiz questions, I was printing out things and like highlighting, annotating, and I would say my favorite projects that I got to do, that writing class stressed me out so bad I cried, but my favorite projects actually came from that. We did a final portfolio, and to make it more fun for myself, I decided to make mine avatar themed. I did a criminal case file for that class, also super fun. The most stressful classes for me were Art 81A, just because of the way the class was organized. I got a really good grade in it, but it was the way the class was organized, like you didn't know your grade until after finals and everything was over, after the whole quarter was over. So that really stressed me out because we're turning in these projects and I'm like, do I need to improve on things? Because I don't know. And then the other class, again, the writing class really stressed me out, but I also ended up doing well in that class, but it was hard. That class was hard. You had to put in the work. My favorite classes this year were probably Edu 40 because I loved the content and I loved the way the class was structured. Edu 20A because I loved the content and class was alright the way it was structured. Edu 104D's content was super interesting because it was about like arts integration into schools. Social category. This one, not as great. Academics, killed it. Social life, no. I worked so hard in high school to become extroverted and socialize more, and I just threw that out the window when COVID hit. I would probably say I have maybe 5 UCI friends. It used to be 3 at the time I wrote this document, but now I'd say I have 5. When you first get into college and you're meeting people on like Instagram and social media and stuff, you start talking to all these people, and then it completely falls off for most of them, like 99% of them. So let me review how I made each of these friends. Wait, why do I think I have 5 friends? Oh yeah, I do. Okay. 3 of them I initially met. There's these like class pages. It'll be like UCI class of 2024 and stuff like that. So you like post yourself and people can message you and you know, you can chat. So I met 3 of them initially through there, but only one friendship actually like legit stuck just because of that. So shout out to him. The other 2, we met there, we talked for a little bit, and then we bonded later on in the year when we found out like we had more common interests. Then I've gained 2 new friends this past like month. One of them came from Reddit. I contacted them, we started talking on Instagram, then we started texting and Snapchatting and stuff. And then my last one are gonna be my new roommates for the upcoming year. And then I think there are maybe like 3 or 4 non-UCI people that I actually talked to every once in a while during COVID. I really dropped the ball with socialization. Don't take it personally, anybody. I did not talk to anybody. I was just hanging with my parents. I'm definitely gonna go for it next year. I'm gonna try to make friends. I've been very nervous. I've been watching like video tutorials on how to make friends in college. I'm gonna go for it, try to make as many friends as I can. Just be out, put myself out there, like what's the worst that could happen? But I'm nervous. I think my biggest takeaway from that experience is that texting is how I solidify friendship. I don't know why, but I just do better when I can like text that was a new fun thing I learned about myself. Didn't know that. Extracurriculars! Let's talk about it. So I was working my job the whole time, which is at an elementary school, if you guys didn't know. And our job definitely changed this year with COVID because kids needed to be watched for a lot longer because they were in school a lot less. It was tough. Again, it's like being a first-year teacher. I have improved immensely and I'm so proud of myself. I'm absolutely killing it. So happy. It's going great now. I love my job, love my kiddos. Honestly, it was probably like the highlight of my day all the time. I've always said that. It's great to also get to be like a kid again a little bit. You know, like I'm not a kid because I'm the supervisor of the kids, but I'm like drawing with them. I'm playing tag, playing duck duck goose, and like I'm off my phone for like the majority of my shift. And I'm getting outside, doing a recess, getting that fresh air, because otherwise I would probably be holed up in my bedroom. I also went to dinner with anteaters twice. So it was virtual this year, so I wasn't actually eating dinner, but dinner with anteaters is basically a networking event with UCI alumni. And the first dinner with anteaters that I went to, I loved it. I got to talk to two people in the entertainment industry. One of them was like a director of theater and one of them was a writer for TV or movies or something like that. And that was so cool. I loved getting to talk to them. I definitely recommend going to that. If your school does any like networking events with like alumni, dude, go to it. It was fire. They had virtual career fairs. The only thing I went to with that was I went to one Peace Corps presentation during fall quarter. It was alright. I just, you know, I'm only a first year, so like they contacted me and I was like, I mean, I can't really do the Peace Corps right now. And then I was in the ASUCI Content Creation Commission from July 2020 to June 2021. That was a good experience for me. I did not expect to get in. They sent an email, they go, we had a lot of applications, so we are sorry to say that you made it. And I was like, bro, what? That was probably my only like socialization for the first like maybe 2 quarters of college, and it gave me a group of people with similar interests to myself. They were really sweet, really nice, and then, you know, I won that intern of the quarter, so that was cool. And I liked ASUCI, but the thing that I don't like about it is time commitment, because there are so many other clubs and organizations in college, and it feels weird to tie myself down to just one for the next 4 years of my life, because it is a big time commitment. So that's why I'm leaving ASUCI. I enjoyed my time in it though. Then I was in that online musical from about January to March. That was cool. I was Mulan. Then I joined an entertainment club in March. Love that club. It's super cool. You get to hear from so many cool guest speakers. And again, people with similar interests to myself. So I really enjoy that club. And then I was accepted into the Education Honor Society in April. And then I did some networking here and there. Where I am now, let's talk about it. I am very scared about making friends, we notice. I'm nervous about in-person classes. It's gonna be so weird. Like, I've been vibing with online learning. So we're gonna see how that goes. Taking notes in class, oh my god. Office hours in person. I kind of wish I went the CC route, that's the community college route, because 1, college is so expensive, and 2, I literally had the perfect opportunity to go the community college route because of COVID, and I didn't take it. What am I doing? I don't know. And also it would have given me time to explore more of my passion. And also you can get into some really good schools, because I know for sure that I would have kept up my grades in community college, so then I definitely would have gotten into some really good schools, because it's easier to get in as a transfer, because then they can see that you have the work ethic to do well in college courses, community college ones. It is what it is. If in the future I want to withdraw, take a gap quarter, or if I want to withdraw, go to community for a little bit and then come back, or if I want to transfer to another school, you know, it is what it is. And it'll be fine. Everything will work out. Yeah, it seems like I didn't seem certain of that, but yeah, everything will work out. I would say there are some not so favorable aspects of UCI that have sprung up for me personally. Housing situations, parking situations, choosing your classes. I think it's probably because UCI is such a big school. Sometimes I wish I went to a smaller school, because like I almost went to, I thought about Occidental for a little bit, but that's very pricey. I am excited though for my first year of in-person UCI. A little scared. Might want to take a gap year after that. I don't know. We'll see how the cookie crumbles, guys. We'll see. First year of college went pretty good. So yeah, I will see you guys next year with my sophomore year tips and tricks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about college or about UCI in specific, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys!